So, the Switch 2 Direct was certainly interesting. The Direct itself was good. I mean, Nintendo of America's Direct was really laggy and buggy the whole time, and it never occurred to me while I was watching it, like, oh, I should just hop over to the Japan one or the Europe one. The whole time I was just like, well, I guess I have to deal with it. But other than the technical issues, I don't think anybody's arguing over whether this was like a good Direct. I think everything was presented really well. I think that there were enough announcements, like a ton of announcements, that there probably was something for everyone, even if it was small. I feel like the hype was real. I feel like everybody was excited. It was one of those community moments where everything was just great and everybody was just super like, yes, Switch 2, let's get it. However, what came after the Direct, I think, has caused a bit of a stir for good reason. I guess I'm just going to go over my thoughts on like some of the announcements I liked and just go through it really briefly. This is not going to be like a super long video, but I do have some notes. So they started off the Direct by showing off a bit more of Mario Kart World, which I thought looked really great. It's kind of their version of an open world Mario Kart, which I think is pretty fun. When I first saw the map, I was like, what is this? Is this Hyrule? What is going on? This wasn't like the biggest announcement ever. I mean, we already knew that there was a new Mario Kart game based on the initial Switch 2 teaser, but it was still a very good sneak peek. Then there was this longer, more trailer looking portion where they introduced the new game chat feature and the camera and kind of like their Discord version for the Switch 2. Like you can play games with friends and stuff. I'm going to be honest, I'm not the target audience for this. I didn't really care about this part that much. I do have things to say about the game chat feature, but I'm going to save that for the later portion of this video. So there was also Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. They got me in the first 5 seconds, I'm not gonna lie. I saw Zelda and I was like, they're doing it. They're gonna make Tears of the Kingdom DLC. And I know the developers said that there wasn't gonna be any DLC. And so I thought maybe, oh my gosh, they changed their minds. It's gonna be like playable Zelda DLC. We're gonna see her events in Tears of the Kingdom, like everything that happened on her side of the story, even though we already kind of did, but I thought it would be playable. And then as the trailer went on, I was like, oh, it's Age of Calamity. It's whatever that's called. It's Hyrule Warriors. So that was a cool surprise. I wasn't really expecting that. Am I going to be playing it personally? Am I going to be buying it? Probably not. Hyrule Warriors isn't my favorite way to play Zelda. It's just not really my thing. But I am excited for potential lore and Easter eggs and like watching all the cutscenes. I really enjoyed the Age of Calamity cutscenes, so I'm excited for that prospect. Honestly, my notes might not be in order of what happened in the Direct, but I'm just going to go with it. Next, I was a little bit disappointed. Like at first I was excited because Wind Waker popped up on the screen. And I was really excited by the fact that Wind Waker was on Switch 2. And then I realized, oh, it's part of the GameCube collection, which is part of the Nintendo Online membership. Which is cool. It's cool that they're bringing that collection to the Switch 2, but I was always pining for a Wind Waker HD remaster for the Switch or the Switch 2. And the fact that they're putting it as a part of the online Nintendo membership deal means that they probably won't be doing that, which is kind of a bummer. I'm actually kind of disappointed about that. Okay, I'm not kind of disappointed. I'm really disappointed about that, if I'm being honest. And I really hope they don't do the same to Twilight Princess. I didn't see Twilight Princess as a part of that collection in the titles that they showed, but I really hope that they don't end up doing that. It's just like, why can't I own that game, Nintendo? If I want to own a physical copy of Wind Waker, I have to buy a Wii U and I have to buy that copy, which is going for like, I think $100 or something on eBay. Like, they're not cheap copies. I know a lot of other people have been pining for the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess physical releases, like the HD versions. And so it's just kind of like, why? Why? That would have been so easy for you, Nintendo. Why? We'll see. We'll see for Twilight Princess, though. I'm still holding out hope for that one. Next thing, oh my gosh, FF7 Remake on the Switch. Do I need another version of FF7 Remake to buy? No. Will I buy it anyways? Yes. That's exciting. I always was betting on that happening just because I remember I read some kind of article way back when where there were rumors, first rumors of the Switch 2, and everybody, or this article was saying that FF7 Remake was one of the main games they were testing on it. And so I was like, okay, it has to be on there. It has to be coming. And it is. So that's exciting. Also, new Deltarune chapters. I'm not going to be playing them personally. I'm more of a Undertale Deltarune watcher and enjoyer. They're not really like my kind of games to play exactly, but I'm really excited to watch some playthroughs and I'm excited for the lore. That's exciting to me. Hollow Knight fans rejoice. Silksong was actually shown and the release date I think was announced for like 3 seconds. I think, Deltarune got this whole little trailer in this showcase, and then next thing you know, they're showing Silksong for like 3 seconds maybe in a cascade full of these other titles. The disrespect. Like this title has been so anticipated and people have been waiting for any kind of information on this game for so long. I'm not even a part of the Hollow Knight fan base. I've never played the games, but even I knew how anticipated this title was, and they just like threw it in there like it was nothing. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Pokemon Legends Z to A is exciting. It wasn't anything like, oh my gosh, it's new, it's exciting. We already saw it in the Pokemon Direct, and I'm kind of wondering why they showed it during that Direct and they didn't keep it for this one. I think that would have been a much bigger reveal if they had revealed this game during the Switch 2 Direct, but maybe they had their reasons. I digress. That game I definitely will be getting. I was unsure about a lot of the launch games that they showed, but that one, I don't think it's a launch game. Actually, we'll have to look at that. I don't think it is, but that is one of the games that I am anticipating highly. I'm going to be completely honest, while I think that the Direct itself was totally great, I, upon first watch, was a little underwhelmed towards the end of it. But I was really getting my hopes up for a few certain titles. I really wanted a new Animal Crossing title, especially for launch. Something Zelda related, but not Hyrule Warriors. There was no mention of Twilight Princess, no new Smash game. I was the teeniest bit underwhelmed, but I think that was just because I was expecting certain things. I was really pining for Animal Crossing for some reason. I don't know why. But it wasn't bad. That's on me, And I was just thinking, wow, it's kind of a small launch. There's not a ton to really get in the beginning because it's really just a couple of new first-party titles. Like Donkey Kong and Kirby, and then the rest are old. But then I was looking at the OG Switch launch, and that kind of put things into perspective for me because I wasn't around for the original Switch launch. I mean, I was around, obviously, but I wasn't into games in 2017. Like, I didn't get back into games, in 2017 yet. This I have to get off my chest. I just have to say it. It might not make any sense, but I really think that they could have announced the Twilight Princess HD Remaster as a launch title for Switch 2. I think that would have been amazing. And when you think about it, it's a win-win-win. First off, for Nintendo, they don't have to make a brand new Zelda game from the ground up. They just have to remaster it, re-enhance it, put it out for a physical release. They will make certainly a ton of money off of it. Old fans are going to rejoice because we've been wanting Twilight Princess, like a remaster and HD version on the Switch or the Switch 2 for years. And then new fans that don't know what Twilight Princess is, they didn't grow up with the Wii, they're going to think it's basically a brand new Zelda game. They're going to be happy. They're going to think it's cool. Win, win, win. Do I think they should have done that? Yes, but I guess they still could. I guess they might just save it for later. But I just think that could have been so magnificent. I think that could have been so easy, and for some reason they're like holding it back. Like Nintendo, that's probably one of your easiest projects on your board right now is a Twilight Princess HD remaster, and it's not here yet. I'm sorry. I'm gonna move on. Just please do not treat it like Wind Waker. Okay, so let's move on to the bigger picture here, the bigger issue, maybe. So they did give us a release date for the Switch 2, and I think it was a lot sooner than everybody initially thought it would be, which was super exciting. But there was absolutely no price reveal. I don't think there was a single price tag in this entire direct, and I don't think a lot of people realized it until the end, and everybody was kind of like, oh, what does that mean? Now that we see the prices, I understand why they did that now. I think if they had started releasing the prices during the direct, I think that would have sucked all the fun out of it, and I think that that was very intentional. They wanted you to focus on how great these games looked, how many there were, how great the Switch looked. I think people, if they had seen the prices during the direct, everybody would have started crumbling a little bit, like live. Like streamers reacting to this would have crumbled, I think, just a bit. So the price of the Switch 2, just the console, not the bundle, is $449.99. So that is not the price. That is not the price point that is bothering everybody. I think that this price point totally makes sense. Is it still expensive? Yes. But when you look at how much the Switch is, when you look at how much the OLED is, which that is $350, it doesn't make sense for the Switch 2, which is a much better version of the Switch. It doesn't make sense for it to be any cheaper than that. I think I saw other people say like the cheapest they could have made it was $400, and still that seems like that just doesn't seem like they would ever do that. I don't think the price of the Switch 2 console is what everybody is mad over. I think that that is a totally acceptable price point, and it's still cheaper than most other modern consoles. It's the games. It's the pricing of literally everything else that is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so there's the Switch 2 tutorial game. And, looking at that, it's not really my thing. I have a PS5 and I never really played Astrobot. I'm not like super into the tutorial games. But I thought it was cool, and I was like, oh, that's so nice that they're like offering this tutorial for people. Like, it's basically a game that's gonna come with it. It's gonna be free. Right? Right? No, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for the tutorial game for the Switch 2. And this part really irks me. This kind of like flew over my head the first time I was watching the direct. The chat button. The chat button on the Switch 2 is not a free feature. The button itself is, it comes with the Switch 2. You're free to press it all you want, but it's only going to work for free for like a year, and then you have to have a Nintendo Online membership to keep using it. To keep using a feature that is included with the Switch 2 console. I don't know if a button on a console has ever been blocked by a paywall before. If that has happened, if you like know your game console history and some other company, some other console has done that, let me know, because I thought this might be the first time, because that's ridiculous. And then next, oh my gosh, this really gets my goat. If you already have a game, if you already have a Switch game that has a Switch 2 version or upgrade, you have to pay for the upgrade pack. You just bought the Switch 2. You have games that are compatible, but you have to then pay to unlock the full potential of the Switch 2 in order to make it look like this game is on the Switch 2. I don't know how much the upgrade packs are, actually. I don't know if those have been released, but this is one of the dumbest things for sure. The Switch 2, let's pretend this is the Switch 2. The Switch 2 should have software or hardware already installed on it that says, oh, you just inserted an original Switch game. Let me re-enhance it. Let me remaster it for you. Let me upgrade it so that it is automatically the Switch 2 version. That is what should be happening. But instead, Nintendo's like, let's get them to Let's get them to pay for it. That really gets my goat. That really does. That's such a scam. You pay $450 for this new console, and your games are not going to look like it's on this new console. Like, you already own this game. You've bought this game once, but you have to pay again. Not the full price, mind you, but I don't care. I don't care if it's not the full price. A little price, even $5 is offensive to me. Why on earth would I have to pay more money to upgrade on a system that I just dumped plenty of money on? You're telling me the Switch 2 is perfectly capable of just playing this in an updated, upgraded, enhanced version, and it won't because it's blocked by a paywall. It's blocked behind a paywall. The upgrade packs should be free. Free, Nintendo. And then it just keeps going. Apparently, Mario Kart World at MSRP currently is $80. A Mario Kart game. What? Also, the amount, like 90 was thrown around a little bit too. I think that one, I couldn't find a reliable source that one was actually true. I think that it was just a rumor, but if it's not, I mean, we'll find out eventually. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to stick with 80 for now. Whatever, 80, 90, regardless, still a ridiculous price. And it's not just Mario Kart World. All of the games are being priced around 70 to 80 bucks. Newer physical versions, so like the new upgraded Switch 2 edition of Tears of the Kingdom, is also way more expensive. They are selling old games for more money. Elden Ring, Game of the Year 2022, AAA 60 plus hour adventure that looks like this, is $60 MSRP. But Mario Kart, well, let's make it 80. No, let's make it 90. No, let's make it 100. Let's just, I was really set. I was for sure going to get Mario Kart, and then I saw the prices and I was like, am I? And I'm not even done. Some physical game cartridges will not even contain the whole game on them. Great. I mean, this isn't completely new because sometimes with the original Switch, there would be games that would be released physically. They would have like the case, but then inside would just be a download code, which was always stupid, but I feel like those ones are more few and far between. This seems like it's going to be a little more prevalent, and it just sucks that they're taking it to the next level. Like, it's not just a download code. It has a cartridge. It has a case. It's basically a physical game, but now it's a download key. Apparently for preventing piracy, like, whatever. But it's just like, what's the point? What's the point of making it a physical game, of making a cartridge for it, if the game is not fully on the cartridge? Why didn't you just make it a digital only release? Why did you get people's hopes up and just say, just kidding, the full game isn't on there? I was starting to respect Nintendo like a tiny bit more because I've been researching physical media lately and how Nintendo seems committed to physical media, but then they go and do things like this and I'm like, are they? I don't think so. So yeah, it really wasn't the Direct that was the problem. It was everything that came after the Direct, everything that they were hiding behind the beautiful, glossy, exciting Direct. It was everything, all the ugly numbers that they did not want to show people, lest they freak out. And I think we have every right to freak out. Do I think that these will like change anything? I don't think. That's the thing, is I think people are going to still buy it. I still think the Switch 2 is going to be massively successful. I think these games are going to sell regardless, but that's just so sad. It's so sad that we're at this point where it's like, well, it's the only way we can get these games. I mean, it's Nintendo. We pay for quality. I guess we might as well just sell our souls to them. I do plan on getting the Switch 2 console, but after seeing the launch games and seeing their prices, I don't even know if I will be buying any of the launch titles or the ones around launch, because they're just so... I'm mainly getting the Switch 2 in anticipation for games that I know I'm going to want regardless, like if there is a new Animal Crossing game. the eventual new Smash game, obviously the Pokemon game, and FF7 Remake Switch 2 Edition. There are definitely games that I'm going to want for the system eventually, but I'm just wondering, is it worth it to get any of these launch titles? I don't think it is. Which really sucks because I do really want to play Mario Kart, but is it worth $80? Right now, no. I don't know. It's sad that everybody was so happy about the direct and everybody seemed so excited by all the announcements, and then immediately everything just like dropped. Everybody was like freaking out about the prices. Like, nobody can afford this, Nintendo. Like, maybe some percent of the population can like afford to just keep paying you whatever prices you want, but a lot of people are going to be sad and missing out on your games because they're just too dang expensive. And that's sad that they prioritize that over making their fans happy. I don't like to say this often because the more you say it, the less weight that it has, but a massive L, Nintendo. Massive L.